recap our game from Saturday. Obviously disappointed in the outcome of the football game. Sentiments and thoughts process of this thing doesn't seem to be too much different than what it was Saturday after the game. But I think we're in a situation right now where the challenges are what we've wanted since January. We set out to win a conference championship. That's right in front of our face. The road to that starts this Saturday. Great team coming in here in Central Michigan. Got a team that's well coached. Coach McElwain and his staff done a great job, building that program and sustaining it. Kids play really hard. Really talented players on offense. Quarterback's done a really good job. A really talented running back and some receivers that have stepped up and are playing well. Defensively, I think it's a good unit on defense. They run to the football and they do a good job tackling in space, and a team that's going to force you to go beat them. So we're going to be at our best, play mistake-free, and have a good week of prep to get to that point in time so we can go play well Saturday. Take your questions.
Outside of Jaquan running the ball, the running backs have struggled at consistently gaining yards. How much do you think that contributes to kind of the unevenness of the offense?
What do you mean unevenness of the offense? I don't understand.
Just in terms of like one of the best things for a good passing game is a good run game because it keeps defenses honest and stuff like that. Like how much more do you think you need that run?
Well, if the quarterback's running for 70 yards a game rather than 0 yards a game, then that would be 70 yards the running backs could get that they're not getting because the quarterback is. So, I think there's some give and take here. There's a total number of yards that you're trying to get accomplished here of, what it is. You're trying to maintain balance offensively. You're trying to play as evenly as possible, trying to distribute the football to as many guys as you can to keep defenses, off balance, and to try to keep them guessing. But when you can supplement the running game with a quarterback, I think that's a different element to it. You got to be careful, and you got to be a slippery slope. You don't want to do that a bunch and put him in harm's way. He's done a good job of, making some of them plays on his own. Some of those are scramble plays. Some of those are perimeter-oriented passes where he's tucked it and got enough yards and gotten down where he's not taking hits. So, I think the running back room, like every room in our football team, is striving for consistency and trying to figure out exactly what that looks like so we can put the best plan around them to be successful. In fairness to the backs and fairness to the offensive line, these four teams that we've played to this point in time have thrown a lot of different stuff at us. It's a different front every week. It's people are lining up in places and they're ending up in nowhere near where they started at, and there's been some injuries on the up front, and it's been a running game of just consistently running the ball and pounding the ball. We've had our moments, but we've had our moments where we haven't been at our best either.
How's DQ's health after the other day?
He's good. Yeah, he's good spirits and good, and expect him to be out of practice tomorrow.
When you flip to conference play, how much more is everything now magnified with all your goals that you want to take care of?
It's not magnified. They are what they are. They're still here right in front of us. I think this is what we've set out to go get accomplished. I still think it's a week-to-week process, no matter who you're playing. But I think the magnitude of this football game is the sense that this is a team that's picked ahead of us in the league. We're chasing them, so to speak. You win it. This one almost counts as two because if you win this game, you kind of carry a tiebreaker over, that opponent. And, these conference games early on, they seem to mean more and more each year because at the end of the deal in October, November, our league gets crazy every year. So, big football game, but so are the 7 to follow that too.
Talking about running backs, obviously Central Michigan has a really good one. What makes him so difficult to stop, and just how critical is he in the defense?
Yeah, I think he's got good vision. He's patient. I think the biggest thing is contact balance. You don't see that guy getting brought to the ground by a bunch of arm tackles, and we got to put our shoulder pads on this guy to get him on the ground. And a couple times Saturday, and the back from San Diego State was the same way in the sense of explosiveness through the hole and good contact balance, and arm tackles don't get it done. You got to put your pads on him. You got to wrap up, and you got to take him through the legs and all the way to the ground. And he's been able to, in Lou's case, the Central Michigan back, in his case, he's been able to make explosive plays that way, and he's been able to supplement that with, screens and things like that they do a good job of hiding him up in the line of scrimmage. The defense drops, and he gets into that voided area and is able to navigate his way through, and, they're creating space and one-on-one opportunities for him to break those tackles and make big plays.
When you look at the way you guys lost the last two games, they're completely different losses. Mentally, is that one, the San Diego State one, tougher because of the way that it was lost in the final seconds after you guys had just gone down there and scored, or is a loss and you just wash it?
Yeah, I said this last week. I don't rank losses, and I don't think there's degrees to them. They're losses. You put a plan together at the beginning of the week to try to play really well in a football game, and do your best shot to make sure that you come out as victorious in the game. And it didn't happen. I figured that game Saturday was going to be a 60-minute fight. I figured it was going to be a line of scrimmage game, and I thought that our guys did a good job holding us in there to the end to give us a chance to win it. We just didn't get it done, and got to find out a way to win these close football games. That's the 6th one in 2 years here. If you count, going back to last year, there's 5 of those last year that are in that boat. We gotta finish better, and to a certain degree, you got to finish better in those situations, but also you got to start better too. You can help yourself out with the finish by a better start, especially offensively.
Do you think there was anything to, the slow start, there were some turnovers involved there where you were on the other side.
A lot of
So
turnovers
it wasn't like you didn't move the ball at all.
Right.
But anything to the slow start in particular that?
Yeah, we self-inflicted there a couple times. We got the ball down in the red zone. We didn't pick up a 3rd and 2, and then we missed a field goal. We turned the ball over down in the red area. So as you said, you're moving the football. They weren't producing points. And situational football and nip and tuck tight games becomes everything, and you're talking about coming out situation where you're backed up. Offensively, we handled both of those really well that we had. The goal there is to get the first down and get it out. We got the ball out and we were able to punt one of them back to get the field position flipped. The other one we went down and scored a touchdown on a 92 or 3-yard drive, I believe. 3rd downs, pretty good on offense, and 3rd downs, almost 50% efficiency there, and didn't have an opportunity to have to go for it on 4th down like we had in the last couple weeks. But the red zone, just not being able to produce touchdowns in the red zone, and then defensively, I think every time the other team's been in the red zone this year so far, we've given up a touchdown. So, got to do a better job there. We got to hold them to 3 points, and then when we get our opportunities in offense, we got to take a +4 mentality and get that extra 4 points rather than settling for a field goal.
How much? So you've lost 2 straight games. Now you have the conference season. Obviously, I know you want to win every game, and they're all like kind of must-win or whatever. But just how much can a win change your psyche? Like, sports is so much about confidence. Like going out and getting a win Saturday. Does that just like completely change the trajectory of everything?
I'm very confident in those guys sitting over there. I'm very confident in what their abilities are. Win, lose, or draw. I'm very confident that they're going to go put their best foot forward for 60 minutes of football and give the other team everything they have. Can we do that a little bit smarter? Can we do that a little bit more intentional? We can. But I'm very confident, and regardless of the outcome of what just happened, I don't think we have a reactionary football team. I think we have a response-oriented football team. There's a difference, and I'm not going to ride the wave of emotion of reactions. That's you guys are pros at that. I'll let you guys do that. We'll handle the response and take care of what we got to take care of in here.
When it comes to the different broadcasts that you've had this year, when it comes to playing on Fox, this weekend will be on NFL Network, do you find it's a better platform to kind of get the university and the
Yeah, great question. I think really a cool deal to play on the NFL Network. These kids go home and watch the NFL Network in their in their apartments, in their dorms, and different level of exposure, different level of notoriety for our program, for our brand, for our school, and ultimately for these guys individually too. I think it's a big deal, and I think it's really cool. But I think that's the way football's going. You see. Last Thursday night I couldn't find the NFL game. I had no idea where it was. I'm looking on whatever cable network we have at our house. Can't find it. Don't know where it's at. But it's on some cool network. It's doing by the broadcast is really good and the production of it's really good. So, maybe it's up to me and other people to adapt to the times. But I think that's the world we're living in, and I think that's a good thing.
Scott Leffler said earlier today that you're the first coach to reach out to them. Just what was kind of your message to him, and what is does that put things in perspective when someone goes to?
Well, I think this is, we are in a very competitive business. We are in a very competitive world of college athletics, and I think a lot of things get lost. People's health and safety are at the forefront of everything that everybody should be doing. We're talking about football games here. This is a game. This is not life and death. So anybody that goes through a health scare, everybody that is like in a situation where, things are out of their control, there's a human element to this. I'm not a Bowling Green fan and never have been and never will be, but that doesn't mean that there's not a human element to this, and got a lot of respect for the coaches across the country that do this. This is a hard job. People's families get put at risk and at the expense of their careers, and that's not a normal thing, you know. And that everybody's, you know, everybody complains about a 9 to 5 until they have one that's not a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? So I think that there is a human side to this, and I wish him and his recovering, you know, and his family nothing but the best. Because my text was that, you know, to be smart and to, you know, take care of your health first and foremost, because that's more important than anything that we're doing right now.